Today we're going to be making a statue from a bunch of different metal scraps I have laying around my garage. This lathe is a Craftsman lathe from the 1920s, I think. My neighbor gave it to me and I've been using it for small odd and end projects. Quick intervention here. I was making this a couple of weeks ago using my lathe to turn down those bottles in the back, and the cord was an old cord with some tears in it, and it shorted through to the switch, and I think it blew some type of fuse. I haven't looked at it yet, but I'm hoping it's an easy fix and I didn't break my whole motor. It kind of shorted out from the switch down to the table, and there was a big flash. Yeah. As you can see, fits pretty nice. Pretty decent fit. Not as tight as it could be, but okay. Also, I might post a repair video if I remember to record me repairing it, and when I get around to repairing it. Here I'm making that groove just a little deeper so my weld penetrates just a little bit better. Here's a little shop tour. We got the scrap metal, which I get mostly from work and other places, the table, and the lathe. Normally, there's a bunch of stuff in the way, so I don't use it much. Here we're welding the head to the hat. And in case you can't tell or not, I'm new to this YouTube stuff. I don't really know how to record videos or edit videos. I'm using an iPhone, occasionally a GoPro. Not good at editing. And yeah, I think it kind of shows. Look at those dimes. Here we have a piece of tubing, some offcut from work that I hammered a couple times and clamped down in the bench vise, and I figured it'd make a good body. I don't really know what we're going for here, but if I tell you now, it'd ruin the surprise of watching to the end of the video. I don't know how the people make their welding look cool. It's probably with some like filter or something. But if you watch this and you know, could you let me know so like that stuff doesn't happen and my viewers, you, don't get blinded. You might be wondering why I'm holding it with a hammer. And if you don't know, then you don't know. But if you know, then you know. So here's a little ASMR, potentially. I don't know about you, but that sure does get a feller going. Here's a little more for you. Don't mind the heavy breathing. I love air. Here we have an old piece of my lawnmower, which will make the perfect base for our statue we got going. I hate battery-powered stuff. It always seems to die. As you can see, I got my proper PPE on. For safety gear. Because I'm safe. There was like a lot of grinding and I cut most of it out, but here's the finished product. Ta-da! Now I'm adding in some scenery. Maybe a pond, maybe a pile of rocks. Who knows? Whatever you want. Professional photography at its finest right there, ladies and gentlemen, at its finest. Here I'm mocking up how I want the person to sit and how I want my surroundings to be. As you can see, I kind of go with a rock formation of sorts. Here's what that looks like in the end. In the background there, you can see the feet. Now I like to do this trick where I put the the welding thing on it, and I pull the trigger to walk it into the table. Like that. It kind of helps sometimes. All in all, with all the grinding and everything that took to make this, I'd say I probably have 2 to 3 hours into it. This was a bigger one, but that picture I put in before, that smaller one, I want to make more like those and try and sell them, but I broke my lathe, so I need to fix that before I can do that. And I don't really know how to sell them, where to start, what to price them, how to do any of that. And the setup I'm doing, I mean, you can see all the BBs and spatter that I'm getting from it. I'd like to get a TIG, maybe a Vulcan 205. I think I get a little cleaner of a process, but I can't tell yet. I'm making a duck penguin thing. I add links here in a little bit, but very nice, very nice. I still have this, and if you want to buy it, it's available for the right price. Although I'm pretty certain no one will want to buy it. But it's available for the right price if you do. Now, on to my favorite part, grinding. Here we're going to profile and shape the rest of it and try and knock off some of those BBs if we can. I do most of my sanding with the grinder. My boss gave me a sandblaster that I've been trying out here and there. I did a motorcycle, like one of those tiny statues. I did a motorcycle that I sandblasted it. I'm not sure if I like the look or not, but I do a lot of grinding. Grinding's great. We love grinding. It's like 10% welding, 90% grinding. It's amazing. And there's that beak roughed out a little bit. I mean, I don't know if I went back and did more detail work, but yeah. The feet, the beak, the bird. Here we're doing some searching. Those wings. Found 2 pieces that kind of look like the shape. I believe I tack welded them together and roughed out the shape of the wing, but I'm not going to bore you with that, so here's the final product. When I finish this up, I'm pretty sure I left some smoke in the places where I couldn't get that like sooty brown stuff, but if I just put it in the sandblaster and get rid of it, but it'd leave kind of like a dulled finish. I don't know if I could maybe take a wire wheel to it to get the shiny back or what. Here we're getting that foot shape roughed in and brought to pretty much the finished level, I'm pretty certain. I also have a Dremel with some carbide burrs, I'm pretty certain, which work good for getting in tight places. I'm pretty sure I used them on the ridges of the feet. Now we're gonna tack it / weld it fully onto our base, and I'm gonna do probably another 30 minutes of cleaning up, but I'll skip the end and show you what it looks like. Before I do though, I normally take those wire wheels that you can put in a drill, as you can see, and clean up it as best I can with that, since that's the finish I go with. And then to seal it, I normally take a torch and heat it up, not red hot, just hit it with a torch until I can take this beeswax I have, and I just put the beeswax on top of it and it just melts in. And that's the seal I use to stop all the rust and whatnot from starting. It works pretty well. I have a couple pieces that I finished, I don't know, two or 3 years ago, and they still haven't rusted. They look brand new. And I normally use a bronze brush, and I'll put the wax on, and then you brush it off. Well, first you wipe it off with a rag as best you can, and then you brush it off once it's hardened up, and it gives you a nice finish. We've pretty much come to the end of the video, so if you made it this far, I wanted to say thank you. And before we get to the very end, at the very end, I'll post pictures of the 2 little tiny statues I made. And yeah, just if you made it this far, thank you for watching, and here you go. And here's those 2 statues. And thank you for watching. Have a good night or good day. Yep.